Hi, hello, and welcome to 1111 Divine Lovers series, brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as Ablosi Baba. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent here to deliberate the findings for the Divine Partnership Assessment for the time from the Leo new moon around the 18th all the way until the end, so right before the Virgo new moon, which will be around the 16th, 17th of September. That's kind of when the cycle terminates. Now, sometimes the day before or day after, and I'm going to get into these messages right now because the channel is here. I do want to say, sometimes when you view the video, that's when the cycle starts for you. So if it resonates, it's for you, okay? The specifics and the technicals are only important if you make them important. If the message resonates, that's for you. Okay, so if anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and check the information in the show notes. Let us begin. So since it was a masculine energy of a new moon, the guidance will be given to the feminine and the findings will be the masculine. So I will be reading the energy. I will be deliberating my findings from the perspective of the divine masculine. I will impose the guidance to the divine feminine, and next month it'll switch. Since next month it'll be a Virgo new moon, and that'll be, or next cycle, that'll be a Virgo new moon, and that'll be more geared towards the feminine. So the findings will come from the perspective of the feminine, and I'll impose the guidance to the masculine. The side further away from the camera, closer to the candle, that's the divine masculine. The side closer to the camera is the divine feminine. Let us begin. I'll be deliberating the findings from Tarot by Lady Frida Harris, created by Aleister Crowley. And I will be imposing the guidance from the Rumi Oracle by Alana Fairchild. If I need any clarification, I'll be using the archetype cards by Carolyn Miss. Let us begin. So just so y'all know, this is an 11 by 11 spread. For those of you who are interested in the style, the gorgeous oracle method, it is quite advanced. And there is a mystery school, oracle at vertexofabundance.org. I'm just going to say one thing. Mystery schools, by definition, do not make themselves known. They do not explain themselves, and they do not provide a syllabus. Mystery schools are elite. They are exclusive. They tend to exclude everybody, and you need to be something of a royal to make it in. That's not what I'm saying is the case right now. I'm just saying, if you find out about the mystery school, that is good enough. And if it's not good enough, it says a lot. Okay, so if you're looking for like a syllabus or a clue, I'm not obligated to provide that for you. And if that's a deal breaker, okay, great. It's a filter. Okay, so that message gets said to many people, and some people decide to make an issue of it, and some people don't. The same two people can witness the same exact event, and they'll walk away with two materially different experiences. So when I make that statement, what do I mean by that statement? Well, whatever you heard is what I meant. If I say that and it illuminates you and liberates you, then I meant it. If I say that and it entraps you and ensnares you, then I meant that. It's really however you decide to take it, okay? So let us begin. Dance of the Divine Feminine. Wonderful. So I'm glad I'm imposing the guidance for the Divine Feminine this month. And I just want to say hi, hello, and welcome again to 1111 Divine Lovers series. This is the Divine Partnership for the Leo corridor, meaning the Leo new moon onwards until, it's going to be most of Virgo, but it's going to have a strong Sphinx energy. So we'll be reading the opening sermon from Alana Fairchild's Rumi Oracle Dance of the Divine Feminine, card number 42 on page number 183. Okay, so Dance of the Divine Feminine. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the moon and the sun stood still like the rocks, they would not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. I have given you only a few examples. Can you figure out the rest? Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love? How can your feet be still when the music is so lush and inviting? How can you hold yourself back from the tide of love when the horizon looms so vast and exciting? How can you not arch your back and respond with ecstasy to the lover? Touch, saying in absolute submission, yes, more. You were made to move and to grow and to love and to flow. Even mountains change. Surrender the stodgy ways of the mind and become willing to dance to the great orchestrations of love. So we enter in this cycle here with growth, renewal, expansion in some way. It's almost as if like the divine feminine is ripe with feelings of creativity, nurturance. The divine feminine has shown up on the masculine side. So if in this part of the cycle, as we begin, mostly we were ending the previous cycle, we begin with self-worth and value. And it's mirrored on the feminine with growth, expansion, vitality, renewal. The self-worth and value has to deal with alignment in the authentic self. Now it's going to be more about when you focus on what's alive in you, when you align with now I'm speaking again to the divine masculine, but when I give guidance, that's the divine feminine. It'll make itself known for those who it needs to. I just want to say, you know, a lot of the messages on this channel are encoded. All right. So if it resonates, it resonates. The comments are off. I'm not available for questions. You can book a session. That's a blanket statement to everybody. I know it's not particularly pleasant, but it's the truth and the kindest thing I could do. A way to start you out from a position of empowerment. The masculine is having the goddess smile upon them. He, she, it, they, however you identify, non-binary included. We're in a situation this cycle where we're leaving the previous cycle with some growth, but mainly alignment because of self-worth and value. The masculine is aware of their authentic self. The masculine is coming into a situation where their focus now is about growing because they have the strength, courage, and wisdom to go after what they want. I'm detecting that previously they were stuck because of financial concerns, material concerns. It could have had to deal with a divorce, so splitting or divesting of assets. And that's not particularly pleasant. You know, I wouldn't be inclined to postpone love after the divine feminine because of some material concern. There are specific signs, solar energies that like that energy, being prudent, especially financially. But the masculine is not looking at the feminine at the beginning of the cycle. The focus is strength, courage, and wisdom on the masculine side is mirrored on the feminine as fecundity. It's what I'm hearing. I wanted to say the word fidelity. They are aware that there's some type of soulmate connection. They don't know whether or not they're going to give to it, the divine feminine. The masculine actually is looking to whittle down the options, become less overwhelmed, become less distracted, find their personal power. In alignment with their authentic self. It's almost like they want to whittle down their options, or they want to take care of all the things that are distracting them, overcome all the things that make them slightly fearful. Because when energy comes up, the challenge to crossing the objective, the conflict, is that when energy comes up, when issues come up, things that need to be confronted, they choose to be confused. Now, it may be to some subtle level that they need to confront some things from the past. They're still working through, whittling through some things from the past. Okay, I do see that the feminine is mirroring that for the masculine, saying, okay, well, when things clear up for you, when the vibe is right, when the environment, when the foundation, when the room is clear, we're going to have that firm, solid ending and transition, and I may be able to work with you. It seems like there's some pretty strict terms on the feminine. You can only make it through masculine if you do this certain thing. The masculine has something to confront. We have the moon card confronting what's deep alive in you in the depths of the soul. Typically, it's things coming up to the surface from the subconscious. It can be a dark journey, you know, dark night of the soul here. It has this conflict energy. All the sorts are oppositional of a blocked door, a locked door. It can just be general confusion. It can be that they're stuck in fear, stuck in illusion. It can be a little bit, to some extent, addiction. We do walk through into the next cycle with karma. Now, this is a full removal of karma. The feminine is going to be less karmic than the masculine. It can be that the masculine has some hard work, or the masculine does have some strong karma to overcome. Now we have 1, 2, 3. We have 75% of the soulmate connection here, and we're waiting for the high priestess. So we already have Leo. We don't have the moon. I mean, I know we have the moon, but that represents Pisces. The high priestess represents the new moon. Okay, so I'll see how far we go here. Okay, but what I'm detecting already is that the masculine is focusing on strength, courage, and wisdom it takes to align with the means, mechanisms, and methodologies to secure a relationship with the feminine. And the sacrifice to make is for the masculine to try yet again. It's only going to require one more time, from a place of self-governance, self-mastery, to go towards the feminine. Because the feminine is withdrawn within themselves to find and to utilize their soul's wisdom. And it can be that the masculine is a Capricorn moon. It can also be that they have Capricorn at the bottom of the chart, which means that they are Libra rising. So the masculine could be a Libra rising, the masculine could be a Capricorn moon. They could also have their sun in Aries, moon in Aries. They could also have their Venus in Leo. They could also have their Venus in an earth sign, mainly Virgo. But that would be a market message specifically. So I do want to just give you some points of clarification. It seems like this message is kind of intense. The Sphinx energy could be like that. The Sphinx is kind of like, I'm going to love you, but I'll eat you alive if you become a demon. It goes like, I'll raise you up out of the depths of hell, but the moment you start, you know, hosting demonic energy, I will slay you. without a second thought. Doesn't matter how much I love you. I'm not participating in no demonic freeway. You know, I'm not going to be a highway for demons. And I've admonished the audience twice already, which normally I would use for a more select circle. And it just kind of was like, I'm not going to sit here and take these messages having no little doubts or little niggles and naggles in my spine and my little psyche here. So let me just go ahead and sweep the floor here so I have a clean space to work. That's very much how the message is right now. A little bit harsh, a bit prickly, not warm and fuzzy. Okay, so let's run through this really quick again before we start going through the phases here, how the things mature. We begin the cycle with the masculine coming into self-worth and value. They're aligning with something that they've been wanting to work on for a while. And it is somewhat oppositional. So they might be getting rid of one thing to replace it with another. The feminine is saying, okay, listen, there's a light at the end of the tunnel here, but I need to augment my optimism because there's a lot of truth coming out. And the more I see you align with truth, the less I'm going to be in my mind about it. But unfortunately, you haven't given me what I need in the physical. You have it. You demonstrated your ability to access those energies, but they're not reciprocal. Meaning, if you got love, you sharing with other people, you sharing it with yourself. You ain't sharing it with me. If you got fecundity, fidelity, meaning if there's fertility in your love and your emotions, if there's anything to grow here, if I give you something, whether it's some intimacy, some coitus, or just a little bit of love and affection, it ain't going to grow. And then if it is going to grow, it ain't going to grow here together in this relationship. So you taking what I'm giving you and you invested those energies in somebody else and something else. It ain't on me. And I know that there's a connection here. I know that there's a recognition here, but it seems to be on another level in the spiritual. It is not materializing in the physical at this time or in that previous cycle. Furthermore, I'm walking into this obstacle, conflict, crossing, objection of there's a firm ending. Somebody needs to leave a house, a home, and there's going to be a change in a home. And I do feel like the masculine is the one confronting all of the changes, and they're confused as to what to do. They may be waiting for some divorce decree. That's a very subtle message here, to a much lesser degree. The sacrifice to make really for the masculine is to man up. I don't like those words. Your genitalia has nothing to do with how you act. Man versus woman. For me, man is the seed that gets planted. Woman is the field that the seed gets planted in. So for me, man means to follow your archetype. You have a third eye as the masculine, and that is the supreme commander of the power that's vested in the feminine. The feminine rules through the womb, meaning she leads the kingdom with love and nurturance. She embodies the beauty of the divine feminine. She does that archetype out in the physical. You embody the compassion and the skill set, typically like the tactics or the intelligence. That's really more of the masculine. So the masculine needs to be able to observe the subject. The feminine needs to be able to be observed, be the subjective. So like a king ain't a king if he doesn't have a flock, if it doesn't have a kingdom. So the king would represent the masculine and the kingdom would represent the feminine. If we have a seed to be planted, well, the seed to be planted, that's the God, that's the masculine, right? And then the field growing, yielding that harvest, that would be the feminine, right? So it seems like the masculine is recognizing that there is something to tend to, there's something to yield, there's something to take care of, there's something to have compassion towards, there's something to protect, there's something to give feelings of love and adoration to. It seems isolated at this moment because they're confronting all the things in the way of giving that love and nurturance, sharing openly that fecundity. Fecundity is when you feel fertile. And it's not always physical fertility. It can be, wow, I feel very creative today. Or wow, I'm really receptive to love. Or wow, I really want to go out and network. For some reason, I don't want to be at home. I want to go out and talk and network and those types of things. Fecundity is just an open receptivity that spirals upwards, spirals into a more open and doesn't close up immediately. It also means that if you're giving energy, it's going to multiply. Very similar to fidelity. I mean, fertility, but it mixes in fidelity, it mixes in fraternity, it mixes in fun, it mixes in, it's like a fertilizer, fecundity. It means ripeness. And that word, I'm hearing that word, I don't use that word often, it's not my vocabulary, fecundity, fecundity, fecundity. Now, normally fecundity would be in the Lover's card, it would be in the Empress here. So the masculine had that focus of, I need to use my strength, courage, and wisdom to have self-worth and value. And it's not that I lack self-worth and value. It's not that I lack strength, courage, and wisdom. I lack the strength, courage, and wisdom to share or demonstrate outwardly my self-worth and value. Actually, all my self-worth and value is going to be used inwardly. In fact, it's going to be used to withdraw my energies and utilize it for my own needs. And the masculine is facing this situation where they're going to be forced to try again, to take a stand, to build foundation system structures, to have self-governance, self-mastery, and to demonstrate that. I know we leave the situation with karma, but it can also just mean hard work. It might be very difficult for the masculine to be open. It might be very difficult for the masculine to share. It might be very difficult for the masculine to, okay, there's that fecundity word again. So the fecundity here is a social fertility. For me, for instance, after about 3 hours of talking to any person, don't matter if it's my mama, I'm done and tired. I don't have the spoons or the fucks to give. I really can't participate after that. I'm talking, it's not that I lack the social skills, it's that it exhausts, it's deplete. An introvert is somebody who does not derive energy from socializing. They lose energy. It doesn't have to deal with the social skills level. Like an extrovert, they derive energy from being social. To talk, to network for 3 hours, it pumps them up. They want to go out and do it for another 3 hours. An introvert, they talk to a group of people for 3 hours, they want to go home and sleep for 3 weeks. So I'm getting that on the masculine side, that they want to put all their energy into work, they want to put all their energy into building, they want to put all their energy into investing, into creating wealth, they want to put all their energy into projects, they want to put all their energy into going through all the different opportunities, all the different worries, all the different fears that they have. The feminine is just trying to see things from a different perspective, and they are being educated on the quality of the connection. You may feel unsettled, beloved, as though the ground beneath you is not so solid. You may touch it to see it. Is it moving? Of course. It is hurtling through the skies, spinning tilted on its axis. It is amazing you are not passed out on the floor in utter dizziness. Yet you stand there, imagining you have no choice of not moving. What funny foolishness. Let us laugh about it together. How can you even imagine it? Only through some misplaced fear. It is such a small craziness, really. You can cast it off, that small crazy fear. Let it return to Mother Earth to become fertilizer for the far grander and more exciting insanity of divine love. Instead, give up that tiny insanity in favor of greater craziness of love. You cannot be unmoved by it. The rhythm of life will get you shaking your hips eventually. How can you not become entranced by the gleaming dance floor, shimmering with possibilities and invitation? The feminine is coming to a different perspective because the masculine is stepping into cycles. Finally, they're in alignment with their cycle, and they're coming into alignment with their cycle. So as much as I want to say poo 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 on this devil here, it's meaning hard work for the masculine. The masculine has several things to receive from work they've done in the past, in a previous cycle. And to take a risk, it's a risk for them to move towards the feminine. And I can see their psychology behind it. I don't agree. Masculine, I feel like you feel rejected or let down or betrayed because the feminine withdrew her energy, or their energy. Excuse me, we're incorporating of non-binary here. There was some reason though, because the feminine had created this foundation, this emotional chamber, this emotional meeting ground for you to come and enjoy her fruits, enjoy her bounty. There was love and fecundity and receptiveness towards you. And at whatever time that confused you. And I'm that way. I'm very particular on how I'm approached. If you don't approach me the right way, it'll seem like I don't care, but I dismiss everything. I don't need anything, so nothing really triggers. And I can see here that the feminine is really in their mind about a lot of stuff that's gone down because, in their opinion, they've done everything they need to do. So masculine, you might be thinking that they would do their energy or that they're mad at you or that they don't want. It's just they don't know how to participate. They don't know how to show up and exchange their needs here. And they don't know how to communicate in a way that's going to be effective. They've done a lot of soul searching. They've done a lot of communication. They've done a lot of trying and trying and trying again. And masculine, I know that you're weary and tired. I can see that you are wounded and weary in some way. It's the masculine that tries again because the feminine is looking for new opportunities outside of this connection and it's not happening. The more they try to heal and the more they try to move on, the more they learn about the nature of the connection. And it's like this gift that keeps on giving. And fortunately, right now it's a little painful, but they keep becoming illuminated and enlightened the more they try to heal from this connection. They're not able to go yet. So we have the moon. The shared energy here is that both parties are aware of this connection and they're aware of what this connection means. I'm sorry, the 1111 Divine Lovers series, it's a time for me to be super happy about everything and over abundantly effervescent and jovial and nice and cheerful. And unfortunately, this message is coming through the Sphinx. So we in India, we call that spirit Nirishmima. It's the boss of the divine mothers who hold all of humanity in their hand. It's the lion archetype. And we see this being, if you look at the Starbucks label, there is a double-tailed mermaid. Well, this double-tailed mermaid actually has multiple forms, a mermaid, a lion, and she has what's called, I forget the word right now, but it's a celestial, something rupa. It's a celestial form as well. This is the spirit. You know, when Virgo and Leo mix together, it's the Sphinx. And we don't have, we had Leo already. We had Leo and Virgo out here. So we have, the Sphinx is spoken. There's a mystery here, and you're not going to get the mystery by throwing a bunch of spaghetti on the wall, homeboy. If you cannot look in the depths of your soul and find what's alive in you, communicate that out loud. If you don't know what you want out of life, you ain't going to recognize when it shows up. And if you're sitting here coming to the connection, trying to avoid some conflict, you ain't going to get no nothing. Playing a game the entire time not to lose? You don't win games doing that. You get in the game to win the game. You have to compete to win the game. Standing there on the sidelines, taking an inventory of all the things that make you uncomfortable, all the things that you don't like. Wealth eludes the insecure. When the goddess graces you with a gift, show up and accept it. And listen, accepting something might be saying, you know what, darling, I can see that you're making attempts to petition to my love or my affection or my compassion, and you're approaching me in a way that closes me up. You know, people that I value greatly, people that I consider close to me, they don't engage me that way. Perhaps you didn't know. Grant me a moment to educate you. I hate to inform and instruct. However, we've been given an opportunity to grow. Here we are. You may walk away right now feeling rejected, but maybe in the future you might have something beneficial to me. And yeah, you know, that's the whole be a man, grown-ass man thing. It's the man's job to endure pain and insults. It's the man's job to take a bruised ego. It's the woman's job to endure craving. So if the woman's desires are postponed for a moment, as long as she receives affection and adoration, she can endure. The man's job, as long as he has duty and an obligation, as long as he feels called, I hate the whole be a man thing, but let's talk about it for a moment. That concept and idea, if the man feels like he has a duty and an obligation and something to rise to, and I hate to think about, like, oh, protect the damsel in distress and all that stuff. That works for some people, but not everybody. Okay? But here's the primal animalistic instinct. The masculine will rise to the occasion when there's a very clear God duty and obligation. And yeah, okay, we're in modern times. It gets very obscured with the whole you should, you coulda, shoulda, woulda, mother, daddy, teacher, preacher, dogma, indoctrination, that can obscure. And especially in the divine partnership, oh, I need to keep going until we have the temperance cards. I knew to keep going. I didn't feel comfortable stopping at the moon. Okay, so we had Leo, we had the moon. Now we're just waiting for the whole 100% of the connection. We need the divine masculine emperor, the divine feminine empress. We need the soulmate connection, which is the lover's card. And then we also need the temperance, which is the twin flame connection. So we'll continue until that comes out. This oracle comes to you with guidance. Your life may feel though it is being tipped upside down. Perhaps you feel as though the great beloved is in a feisty mood, has grabbed your ankles and is holding you upside down, shaking you wildly until your skirt is over your head or your pockets of the pants become freed of their contents, keys and wallet dropping to the floor in disarray. Your hair is messy, your bottom is in the air, and your sense of orientation is nowhere to be found. Blood is rushing to your head, and goodness knows you just want to be put down to have a moment to come to your senses. It's true, the masculine is disoriented. Pardon me, I'm going to get frank because I try to do these nice little sweet readings. I'm not nice and friendly. I know y'all expect that from me. I may come off that way, but I'm cold and prickly. I am a Saturnian energy. I am sober. I am strict. I am severe. You need that Venus shit? Go to somebody else. Let's get right down to it, okay? Homeboy been fucking up for a minute. It's very abundantly clear. Now, he's just confused. Poor little baby, right? It's fine. However, there will come a time when you need to man up. And by manning up, it means provide stability. Provide security. The feminine will help you provide stability. So how do you provide security? You can't be this, you can't be that, you can't be flim flam, thank you ma'am, all up on it, all up over the place, right? Whatever's alive in you needs to speak for itself. Your energy needs to speak for itself. Your willpower, your shade needs to speak for itself. You can't be going petitioning with your mouthpiece what it is you're trying to get out of a person, especially the divine feminine. If she has a goddess enshrined in her, if she is the divine feminine incarnate, here's how it works. To anchor this connection into the physical, you need to have a very firm idea of who you are and what you want out of life. For the feminine, they need strength, they need self-worth and value. For the masculine, they need strength, courage, and wisdom. If the masculine does not have strength, courage, and wisdom to confront the things alive in him, especially the things alive in him that the feminine brings up to the surface, it ain't going to work. It isn't. That is my professional judgment and my personal opinion. The feminine. If the feminine does not have self-worth and value, who she is going to change at any given moment. They're going to be sitting there trying to cater to the unknown, unexpressed, perceived obstacles within the masculine. They're going to be at their women whimsy, on edge, trying to negotiate somebody else's feelings. The masculine doesn't have strength, courage, and wisdom to lay down a foundation, system, structures, foundation, self-governance, self-mastery. The masculine doesn't have strength, courage, or wisdom. They're not going to be able to say, this is the direction we're heading in, and I want you to want that too, but if you don't want it, then, if it's not a flow, it's not a go. If the vibration I'm putting out doesn't attract more of you into my life, then we might not be in this connection. So part of this karma in the end, this double card in the end, the masculine is expecting the feminine to just mosey back on it. Now, the universe may provide an opportunity for them to reconnect, but it's not going to be the feminine who does the work this time. I understand a real king, a true, genuine, bona fide king, does not give chase, does not beg. If you come around a couple times saying, hey, darling, I need to ask for your forgiveness. I was unskillful in my methodologies. My actions may have caused you harm. I would not in my right mind do that to you, leave you in that position. I'm sorry that I didn't express, articulate awareness, understanding of the things I put you through. Let me provide that moment now. If you say that twice or thrice and it's a no-go, don't give chase, mister. Same with the feminine. A queen does not complain or does not explain. You make a request for your needs to get met. Excuse me, mister. This is what I expect from people that I'm in a connection with. This is what my standard is. This is the baseline for me to participate. You must be this tall to ride this ride. You must have these criteria to get on this vehicle. And then withdraw your energies and go on about your business. To sit there and try to convince, to sit there and try to cajole the other person to come on with it, it's not how it works. So it is unfortunate that this is a situation where the masculine, we don't have any cards of chase. There's no knight. There's one queen on the masculine side. So the masculine is feeling like, oh, okay, the feminine is going to come back around. Why? Because the feminine feels the connection much, 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 much more in the physical and is aware that this person is the right person. However, they're not healed in a way that makes it so this connection can prosper. Wealth alludes to insecure. When the universe gets close to giving you the vibration of what it is that is in your hopes and wishes and dreams, masculine, you get afraid and you choke. So I'm obligated, unfortunately, homeboy, to advise Queen here to withdraw her energies. Because the recognition, the awareness, the awakening, the ascension, the accomplishment, the illumination, growth, enlightenment, vitality, and reinvigoration is all here. So much so that she's being gifted and seeded and imbued with soul's wisdom. I'm pardon me, mister, but she's evolved beyond you. And you're the one who needs to catch up. I'm sorry to say. So taking that mystery, let's bring it forward here. Yeah, so there's going to be an awakening, and it's going to happen on the masculine side. The feminines had an ending, a transformation, maybe even a transition, and then the new beginning happens on the masculine side, where all of a sudden, energetically and spiritually, we have this recognition. So let's go ahead and continue on with the sermon here. So the beloved will gift you that gift. The beloved will give you that gift, but do not imagine it will last for too long. The great beloved esteems you capable of so much more than being sure-footed and sensible. You're capable of more whirling and stumbling, whilst inspired by the music of the spheres. If you just accept the great invitation to dance, there will not be so much rough housing going on. It will not be needed because your hair will already be a mess. Your blood will already be pumping, and you will be sweating, laughing, smiling, and dancing. The great beloved will be alive in you, which is all that grand seducer ever wanted in the first place, even with all the jokes and horseplay. I'm sorry, here's how I feel. Here's what I think. If you want it badly enough, it will be in your life. If you don't have it right now, it's because you don't desire it badly enough. And I know you have all these reasons why it ain't working. Homie, let me just break it down for you. Here's how it works. If the why is big enough, the how does not matter. If you succumb to obstacles and excuses, it means the value is not there. Period. If the why is big enough, the how does not matter. And if you're in alignment enough, the universe will provide you with an opportunity. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. Be as messy as you need to be. It's her job to help you clean it up. It's your job to put the energy out there. Here's how love and devotion works, mister. You give woman love. She gives you devotion. Let me explain how that works. Okay. A man who loves a woman is going to go out and bring her food. If a woman is devoted to a man, she's going to turn that food into a meal. If a man loves a woman, he's going to go out and love her by bringing her and buying her a house. If a woman is devoted to that man, she's going to turn that house into a home. Love from a man equates to devotion from a woman. So if a man doesn't love his woman and he gives her a bunch of shit, she's going to lose her devotion for him and give him a ton of crap. So here's Mr. Masculine thinking about all of the appearance, thinking about all of the reasons why it's not going to work instead of focusing and finding that one reason why it would. When you take risk in life, you take reward in life. Wealth eludes the insecure. Lakshmi ain't about no money. Money is a physical example of celestial bounty and abundance. If the power is vested in the woman and commanded by the masculine, here's how that works. The reason Lakshmi is with Vishnu is because Vishnu represents the innate goodness in the universe. Lakshmi is the manifestation of said goodness. Let's break that down just a little bit more. Lakshmi represents more abundance than just wealth. Dana Lakshmi means wealth of gems and okay, but we have the Lakshmi, which is the abundance of children, the abundance of cattle, the abundance of other livestock, the abundance of jewels and golds and gems, the abundance of children, land, the abundance of skills like art, singing, music making, also the abundance of knowledge, education. So if your mind is pure and your heart is open and free, you have a desire as the sacred fool. If your life itself, if your vibe itself is leading you down the path, do you think you would come across someone who wasn't able to unlock? You are the key. You are not the lock to be opened. You are the key that opens the lock. Focus on being a key. Focus on cleaning up your life and focusing on what you want. Don't focus on how it's going to come through. That's not your job. If you can put the energy out into the universe, there will be a fertile field to receive that sacred bounty and yield bountifully. All this yes, but, all this coulda, shoulda, woulda, all this yeah, but maybe, homeboy, that ain't how it works. God don't give to insecure mofos. When you add doubt, when you add fear, when you add insecurity, wealth eludes the insecure. Wealth is more than money. Money is the last thing that comes when you have wealth. The very last thing. Peace, harmony, beauty, fecundity, fidelity, felicity. Those are the things that show up first. And when you chase them away because you don't see money, when you chase them away because you're afraid, so this should be the illumination, the awakening, the enlightenment that you come into it. If you haven't come into it yet, homie, I'm sorry for you. So we have the twin flame. So you're the masculine. You're the one who's in the spiritual aspect of the connection. Feminine, she's the one embodying the physical aspect of the connection. And this is an alignment, and this is on the plan. This is what the spirit guides want. When you have the star card in the middle, it means your highest, most exalted path. We've had self-courage, strength, courage, and wisdom, self-worth and value, and now we have faith, hope, and optimism. Believing in a bigger, brighter, and better future. Moving on towards the highest, most exalted path and plan according to your spirit, karma, life path, destiny, according to your God's ascended masters and your ancestors. You really gonna fight God's plan for you, okay? Live in the dark, be in a box, be stuck in the matrix, stuck on stupid, ain't got no nothing, riddled with karma, worrying about your money, worrying about all the things that don't matter, worrying about all the things you cannot take with you to the next lifetime. You can take love, you can take fidelity, you can take the legacy you leave behind, meaning the love you leave in people's hearts and the knowledge, the soul's wisdom you collect in this lifetime. If you're going to focus on the temporality, the temporary nature of the impermanence of what you, listen, homie, you need to become the kind of man, you need to become the kind of masculine that can close his eyes and see. You use those little two eyeballs to look, not to see. Real love, real knowledge, real unity does not happen in the mind. It happens in the heart. God, you meet him from the inside out. Meaning you feel him, you know him a lot longer before you see him. The devil is who you know and learn about from the outside in. So if you fill yourself up with serenity, humility, and grace, dignity for the masculine, serenity for the feminine, both of them, humility and grace. When you fill yourself up from the inside out, the devil ain't got no way to get up in there. The mind is a witness. It is not a guide. Use your heart as a guide, period. This is not the time. This is not a drill. No one is coming to save you. Save yourself. Don't be waiting for something to come. If you want to go get it. Now, I understand sometimes people withdraw their energy because they're wounded and they're hurt. Do you understand what a true amends is? Here's how you make amends. Excuse me, Miss Madam. I understand that I was unskillful in my actions and I may have caused you harm. I'm sorry. I take full accountability, responsibility for what I did. I do have to say I'm not that person anymore. I wouldn't in my right mind repeat that behavior, but I was ignorant and unskillful at that time, and I regret deeply how my actions affected you. We may not mend those fences. We may not, reconcile and amend our course together. I just want to let you know I'm no longer that person, and I take full accountability and responsibility for who I was. That is it. I realize people are not articulate like me, but any abstract version of is that. That's an amends. Because the feminine has withdrawn the energy. What they've done is allowed their space where they hold love for you to die. Now, unfortunately, it's not that they've turned cold. You're the one who's turned cold, masculine. I can tell that there's scar tissue where all the love used to be. That's unfortunate for you. The wound is where the light shines through. So if there's scar tissue and there's no healing, it means that you're holding on, you have an attachment, you're in your mind ruminating about the play-by-play. Well, I did this, and then she did this, I did this, and then because, and this. Not everything has a rhyme or reason. The why of the why of the why of the why, that's your mental capacity. That's where the devil lives. The devil does not live in the heart. He can't withstand that. And if he lives in the heart, that's not accidental evil. You can't go ahead and say, I was unskillful. Forgiveness is something you give yourself, homie. Listen to me. Forgiveness is something you give yourself. Absolution is something that other people can provide you. Forgiveness is something you give yourself. You have to forgive yourself for who you were to get to where you are today. And if you was ignorant of your own true nature, absolve yourself of the causes that you made and the effects that you're dealing with now. Take accountability, responsibility for picking it up and keeping it moving. You have to take the lessons of yesterday and move them into the foundation that you laid tomorrow. And the person you are today is who makes that decision right now. With this shit going around ruminating in your ego, in the depths of your nature, your shadow self, what this gonna do for you? Nothing. You have to heal. You have to awaken. You have to build foundations aggressively. If you're in the gutter, if you're in the dark, claw your way out with bloody fingernails. Fight for your life. Excuses are not results. They're distractions. They're doors left open for the devil to come in and take residence in your life, to block your blessings. If you want it badly enough, you will have it. Or the universe will start creating a way for you to get it. Excuses are not results. If the why is big enough, the how doesn't matter. If you need to get off your throne and give chase, if you need to get off your throne and beg once or twice, again, do it. This is not a drill. We don't have time anymore. The veil is dropping. Get it. It is the right path. It is in alignment. The one who's not in alignment, my friend, is you, masculine. Disarrayed and disheveled by the divine beloved, you are able to break out of a too ordinary world. You will explode and explore the delightful consequences of rocked boats and upset apple carts, being swept away by love as you dare to dream bolder and wilder dreams for yourself and say to the world, there is bigger magic for you to weave in this lifetime. Prosaic priorities inherited from the world are stuff and nonsense. It is the priorities of the heart that matter to you. If you are ever to right yourself whilst the beloved is tipping you upside down like a soaring bird in the most impressive aerodynamics, it will be through establishing right priorities, the priorities of your own heart. So ask your heart what matters most and attend to that. Soon you will be able to find your orientation, even if everything you have once held onto appears to be shimmering and insubstantial, a mere dance of light rather than a solid ground. This will become so easy for you because your orientation will flow from within, from the heart, and no matter what shifts and changes take place around you, your center will remain strong. This is what the beloved wants for you. Such peace and relief it shall bring to you. But perhaps some shaking about is required first in case you are reluctant to give up some mainstays. Unaware of the flow, much they drain life away from the heart center. Ooh, one more time. But perhaps some shaking about is required, first in case you are reluctant to give up the mainstays, unaware of how much they drain life away from your heart center. This oracle brings a message to you. There is something that you are holding on to, a person, a place, a thing, a belief, a vision, and you need to let go because it wants you to grow. It may grow and change into something utterly different, or it may grow into exactly what you are imagining. Whatever the outcome is, growth is happening, and you will find you enjoy the way much more with greater flow and support and less bashing of your head against the proverbial brick wall, if you can let it happen. Do not worry if it seems though your world is coming to an end, or you are losing something you once loved. This is just shaking about of the great beloved to lead you into deeper, sweeter dance of divine being and becoming. Put your focus into your heart and release who you are more ready than you think. One more time. Put your focus into your heart and realize you are more ready than you think. Now shake those hips, stamp those feet, close your eyes and clap your hands. There. That's better already. So what the caterpillar calls an end, the master calls the butterfly. That's true. Oftentimes when it seems like things are falling apart, they're often falling together. Listen, folks, I don't want to admonish the public, and this is supposed to be a safe container, but I am a Sphinx priestess. A lot of people email me asking, what is your tantric lineage? Chinamasta, Dhumavati, and Kali in terms of segments. Okay, so Kali is actually Chinamasta and Dhumavati. They're both Kali lineages. And then my other lineage is Sekhmet. I am a Sekhmet priestess, not warm and fuzzy, actually cold and prickly. So here it is, broken down for you. Okay, next month we'll talk to the Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine, you did get your guidance. It was the dance of the Divine Feminine. Essentially, what we experienced here was that the masculine is stuffy. They're mired in self-conflict. They're afraid to confront what's deep alive in them, and they're unable to step up and step into this connection, so much so that the Divine Feminine had to withdraw their energy to go away and heal. They've had to step into soul's wisdom, illumination, enlightenment, and now they're having growth, vitality, and abundance. Unfortunately, it's painful for them, the feminine, because they're doing it alone. And the masculine feels betrayed, like they've been left or abandoned. And unfortunately, really what happened was they pushed the Divine Feminine away. I've made that mistake several times, male and females. So it's a tough lesson to learn, but it's a very valuable one. I hope this wasn't too harsh for you. I'm sure I'm going to get a few thumbs down, but I really don't care. The message had to come out, and I look forward to a more nice and jovial message, but it's not going to come from the Sphinx. Peace, love, unity, and light. Check the show notes if you have questions, comments, concerns.